Today on SAU News, cell phone video of a Collegedale police officer manhandling and tasing a delivery driver has gone viral and shown a national spotlight on the city.
Instead of spring break on the beach, these students volunteered for community service way up in Nome, Alaska, a whole different lifestyle.
These stories and more coming up.
SAU News starts now.
Welcome to SAU News. I'm Elise Deschamps.
And I'm Alexia Bernardo. Our weekly newscast is brought to you by the School of Journalism and Communication. A video of a Collegedale police officer tasing a black motorist during a routine traffic stop is giving Collegedale some unwanted publicity. Was the tasing necessary? The Hamilton County District Attorney, Neil Pinkston, wants the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department to investigate.
He's gonna tase me.
This cell phone video is a partial glimpse of the traffic stop that everyone is talking about between DoorDash delivery man Delane Gordon, who was stopped by Collegedale Police. It happened here earlier this month on Talent Road. According to police affidavit, Officer Driscoll pulled Gordon over for speeding. Gordon was going 49 miles per hour in a 35-mile speed limit zone. During questioning, Gordon became argumentative and he denied that he was speeding. That's when Gordon pulled out his phone and pressed record.
I said get out! Please stop it. Why are you being like this? This is how y'all really are?
I'm telling you, get out.
I'm telling you that this is not lawful.
I showed that same video to a faculty on campus and got their reaction on this tough situation.
I'd like to know why the officer was so aggressive, because that is what the camera shows, and I do not think that people who are set up to protect us should behave the way he did. It was a terrible example that it was shown to the entire world, that I wait so patiently to hear the entire story.
Collegedale Police say they are also investigating this incident internally. Once they are finished, the promise is to release the traffic stop's full video as recorded from Driscoll's body camera, which could add more information to the story. Collegedale Police has charged Gordon with speeding, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice. Gordon's attorney says he expects authorities will drop all charges.
Previously, we covered the story of religion student Ari Bates, who came out as a transgender woman and was placed on paid administrative leave from her university job. As of March 4, the university terminated her employment, and Bates has since withdrawn from school. Bates says the reason she was given for her termination was that her social media posts placed Southern in a negative light. She also says as a result of student pressure to her situation, Southern has postponed enacting transgender policies on campus until next year. Bates does not plan to pursue legal action at this time and is currently looking to attend Walla Walla University in Washington State.
Between recent events, COVID, and pressure to complete assignments, burnout is at an all-time high. But what is burnout? What can be done about it? Brandon Bell has the story.
Life at Southern seems to be moving faster than ever. Events on the calendar are always changing, and sometimes new projects are assigned before others can be finished. This can be sustainable for short bursts, but keep it up and eventually, burnout.
So I'm currently writing an article for SAU News, but honestly, I'm tired. Let's go see a specialist.
At the Beat Center, I had the opportunity to talk to Tracy Ann Hutchison, who specifically studied burnout during her MD program at Southern.
Burnout, from my understanding, has three main components. So there is emotional exhaustion, there is depersonalization, which is when you become very callous and detached. There is also diminished personal accomplishment, where you no longer feel like what you're doing is really producing that sense of accomplishment or fulfillment for you.
Armed with a better definition of burnout, I then decided to talk to some students and ask about how they handle burnout.
Take a break from social media, go outside, just kind of enjoy some nature.
As soon as you start to feel a little burnt out, take that break now. The sooner you take that break, the sooner you'll have that energy to fuel your flame back up.
A preemptive way to prevent that is to say no. And let that, like I've heard recently, no is a complete sentence. Let that be your sentence.
One more thing Tracy mentioned to me, and that was that burnout usually comes when your values are misaligned with your work. So one thing you can do is actually spend time doing stuff that matters. So I'm taking up Calvin's advice and I'm in nature. And it's helping. And we're done. Turns out there isn't one solution to burnout, but it's a combination of taking breaks, talking to people, and figuring out what matters to you. And back to the anchors. I'm gonna take a nap.
I was very burnt out before spring break, and the spring break could not have been better for me.
Yeah, I feel that. I went to Spokane, Washington over break. Even though it was for a mission trip,
Nice.
but I am very jet lagged, so I'm getting over it slowly, so it's
That's
a
on
process.
being a student.
Yep.
In February, the BCU Club celebrated diversity in African American culture. Roger Lantigua has the story.
The Black Christian Union at Southern Adventist University celebrated African American culture and excellence in their annual night program. The show took place on Saturday, February 26th at the Isles Gym. This year's BCU Night was titled United. You and I together embracing diversity. That was the subject of this year's BCU Night, and as you can tell, people really felt united during this year's presentation.
But overall, I think the show was very good. It was nice, down to earth, and very cultural. You know, they tried to get every culture in there. I'm very proud and excited for the show.
I was able to see so many different things and learn so many different things that I didn't know before, so it was really interactive, and I'm glad that I came.
Now, I was born in New York, even though my parents are Caribbean. Man, it felt like home, man. I loved it so much. I loved it.
The event's pre-show talents included the SAU Jazz Ensemble, the 2 a.m. Curfew Band, and a steel drum band. Event director Lauren Daniels said that while there were several technical problems at the beginning of the show, they were promptly solved without difficulty.
We were having some hiccups on the road and I was getting a little concerned, but then it started smoothing out. The audience had such great energy, the actors killed it, the dancers, singers, everybody involved, and I felt really good about it in the end. I think they did an excellent job.
Daniels went on to say that the show encompassed the core goals of the BCU, and that plans are being quickly developed for next year's BCU Night. For SAU News, I'm Roger Lantigua.
That looked like an awesome event. Did you get to go?
Seriously, I did not get to go this year. Did you?
Not this year, but last year I did. And it was a really awesome event. And I love how they're always into the concept of uniting and having them all come together as one.
Cool. Love it.
Southern has changed their QEP focus. So what, you say? Well, if you're returning as a student next year, you're going to hear a lot about this. Every 5 years, accredited universities are required to submit a QEP or Quality Enhancement Plan. As an accredited school, Southern has asked former counselor Tiffany Bartel to spearhead a mental health-focused plan. Bartel worked here for several years and is passionate about mental health and academic success.
Emotion students can expect to see in the Healthy Minds QEP initiative content in their courses, such as Southern Connections. There will be modules on stress management, coping with anxiety, balancing your wellness while you're in college, and other important topics like mindfulness. We solicit your feedback as we're preparing these course modules and the events. If you have ideas that you want to share, things you'd like to see, or you'd like to become involved, please email me at tkbartel@southern.edu.
This QEP comes at an opportune time as suicide rates in the United States are at their highest they have been since World War II. In a recent poll, more than 70% of SAU students were reportedly sleeping for only 4 hours a night and eating 1 to 2 meals a day.
A new bird shop recently opened up near Four Corners, and we have an inside look into a bird watcher's go-to stop. Many birds in the area have been lost as city expansion causes their habitats to be destroyed. The bird shop contains everything needed to help foster a home for birds as more trees get cut down. Though the shop does not sell actual birds, it provides the birdhouses, feed, and bird baths needed to give birds a home. Sherry Collins, owner of the shop, also set up a gift shop section that is directly linked to charity.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a store that everybody can come in and find something, not people that just love birds, but something for everybody.
Collins runs her own nonprofit called Shoulder to Shoulder with Haiti, which provides scholarships and feeding programs. She sells sandals made by Haitian children who are currently in the program. She partners with small producers in Haiti to support their business and introduce the world to their products like Haitian coffee. She also sells Haitian-made steel art, hand-cut and hammered from 55-gallon steel drums that come from a ministry called Papillon. Also sold are handmade embroidered cards created by Syrian refugee women. All the money made is returned to the creators of the items. Benefit birds and people in need by stopping by the bird shop across from Tractor Supply and Regions Bank.
What if your morning 8 a.m. class got out and it was still dark outside because the sun had yet to rise?
That's what could happen right here at Southern if Congress approves a bill to make daylight savings time year-round.
Our reporter Aaron Patterson has looked into the proposed law and he joins us at the anchor desk. Hey Aaron.
Thank you for having me.
So it seems like we're just now recovering from the spring forward time change, and this bill would do away with that and do away with us changing our clocks twice a year. Isn't that a good thing?
So while it's a relatively simple question, it has a surprisingly complex answer. The initial passing of this law was to try and lessen energy usage in the United States, but the argument against it is the effect it seems to have on people's health. Here is some of what I've learned. You may remember repeating fall back and spring forward to yourself as a child to remember the yearly time change. The United States passed this change in the early 1970s to combat a worsening energy crisis. The Senate recently passed the Sunshine Protection Act that establishes a year-long daylight savings time starting in 2023. This act would do away with daylight savings time, making winter evenings lighter and winter mornings darker. This clock here on Southern's campus has every year for the last 50 years sprung forward and fallen back. Should the bill that was recently approved in the Senate move on to the House and also be voted approved, this clock could not change again until new legislation is passed. If the House decides to approve the bill, it will appear on President Biden's desk awaiting his signature. Then the law will have officially been passed, and starting November of 2023, clocks will not be rolled back at 2 a.m.
When I think about it, it's pretty much a good thing because we don't have to consistently be changing with the time and worried about losing an hour or gaining an hour.
I don't think there's a need to put 1 hour more into our daily time because we need more sunlight and not a lot of people get a lot of sleep.
The vast majority of SAU students will have never known a world without the daylight savings shift. Hopefully doing away with the time change will bring happier students, memory retention, and mental health stability to our campus and many others like it. It's only a matter of time until we get our answer from the House of Representatives.
But why does the government want to change the status quo?
Sure, so great question. Studies show that every time we move spring forward or fall back, there's an overwhelming amount of data that connects heart attacks, sleep deprivation, motor vehicle crashes, and more to the change in time.
When can we expect a vote on this bill?
There's no specified timeline at this point. Some speculate we'll have an answer in a matter of weeks, while still others say months.
Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely.
While many students relaxed during spring break, one group decided to go up north, way up north. While reporter Hal Moore was not among them, his wife, Renita, was. And with her help, he filed this story.
A group of Southern students and faculty spent their spring break on a vision trip in Nome, Alaska. The group served at the Nome Community Center. The team worked with the children at the local Boys and Girls Club.
So here at the Boys and Girls Club, essentially what we do is we're a safe place for kids to grow, learn, mature, not just to play and have fun, but to learn while they're playing.
The team also served in the community food bank and local homeless shelter. As an added bonus, the group volunteered at the final leg of the Iditarod, Alaska's historic 900-mile dog sled race.
Basically, the mushers, when they come in, they leave their dogs in this lot, and we just kind of walk around, make sure that none of them are like coughing or anything, and we make sure that no one who doesn't belong there is in there. We like bring hay to whoever needs it, stuff like that.
The team members were blessed not only by the beautiful scenery, but also the kindness of the Alaskan people.
Nome, Alaska has been an amazing experience overall. The people, the culture,
being able to work with the children's home, the homeless shelter, the Iditarod race. It's been a great experience.
Just meeting the people here, seeing what they do for the community, and being able to help in so many different ways has just been super eye-opening and just a true blessing for all of us.
For SAU News, I'm Hal Moore.
While not everyone on campus got to travel to Alaska for spring break, we did get to talk to a few students about what the highlights of spring break were for them. Let's check it out.
I got to go to Ponce de Leon Island in Florida, and I was able to take some pretty decent pictures, like some macro photography.
My highlight of spring break was getting to visit some churches and getting to preach. It was an amazing experience.
The highlight of my spring break was hanging out with my friends.
The highlight of my spring break was going to Atlanta, Georgia, and to Ponce City Market. Super nice.
The highlight of my spring break was celebrating my sister's 8th birthday, and just the late nights talking with my sisters and family.
The highlight of my spring break was hanging out with my parents because I haven't gotten to see them or spend a lot of time with them in a while.
Elise, what did you do for spring break?
I actually went on a cross-country road trip.
What?
4,000 miles. It was a lot.
That's insane.
It was really fun though. Southern's reputation of cultural diversity was on display at the recent International Food Festival. Reporter Maria Hernandez dropped by and brings us the story.
Southern Adventist University is known for its cultural diversity. With the purpose of celebrating and promoting all the different cultures, the Student Association created a new event where students and clubs can share their most typical and favorite foods.
This is plantains, the Filipino noodles. It's made out
Each vendor received $50 from SA to help with expenses. On the other hand, each student that attended received 15 tickets, each one equivalent to $1.
We're here on SA's International Food Fest with some delicious arepas colombianas. They're almost sold out. We got some more. It's been a wonderful time to enjoy food from different cultures, and I've had a blast. I'll come back when I'm done with this. Thank you.
Students, faculty, and members of the community enjoyed the event for various reasons, including eating delicious food and learning about other cultures.
The fact that everyone gets to try different foods, and that just gives a little glow of culture.
I think that there's multiple food, and you can get to know the culture of every country. So
Right. I think that, to add on to that, it's you get to meet the people who made it and put love into it. So I think it's really cool.
The first SA International Food Fest was a success. With 20 booths in 20 countries and different foods, everybody had so much fun and got a taste of different cultures.
The Food Fest is also an attempt to reduce racism and microaggressions on campus, while showcasing the various cultures students represent. For SAU News, I'm Maria Hernandez.
I am so upset that I didn't make it this year.
You didn't get to go?
I
got to
did
go.
not get to go, and I know that food was so good.
My friend and I literally bought a Tupperware to put all the stuff in so we could keep it all together.
I wish I went. SAU News is a production of the television and news production class here in Southern School of Journalism and Communication. I'm Elise Deschamps.
And I'm Alexi Bernardo. Do you have a newsworthy story? Head over to our Instagram and send us a message at SAU_news.
Thanks so much for watching.